Hi friends. Now I have the honor today of welcoming back. When I say welcoming back, reason I'm welcoming back her is because she was one of our PGI rankers as well. She joined after that rank, taking the story forward. She joined dermatology in PGI, and we are really proud of her achievement. She gave the NEET exam. She has the All India rank 45. She is Delhi rank 2, which is a significant achievement. She was also a PGI ranker. She's already pursuing MD dermatology in PGI. So we surely have a high achiever with us today, Dr. Smriti Gupta. So Smriti, how are you feeling today, and how do you feel now that you have been able to fulfill your dream of pursuing dermatology?
First of all, thank you very much, sir. Uh, Dermatology was the first choice, and it was my good luck that I got it in the Central Institute, and it was all because of the 5 years of the study which I did, and obviously because of my parents and the Almighty, and due to which I could achieve this,
Yeah.
and I'm very thankful to everyone.
Yeah, and I think what you mentioned is very right, that when you get such a rank and when you are able to do the seat of your choice in the place of your choice, all your hard work that you've done so far feels validated.
Yes, sir.
You feel that okay, I was doing it for a purpose, and that is I could achieve that.
Achieved. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Does that now when you look back now, so when we interviewed you after the PGI exam, and now that you've already joined residency, do you feel the satisfaction now sinking in?
Yes, sir. Since we join MBBS, so we think that we will do something in after MBBS, and we make up mind from since third year, fourth year, ki which branch we want to pursue. And once you get into the branch, you get the feel of that branch. Then you think that all the hard work, all the sleepless nights, all were worth the
Yes.
joining the
Yeah.
branch and everything.
And I think that gives a message to future aspirants also, that to be able to do what you want to do, there will be some price to be paid in the formative years,
Yes, sir.
and they should not be averse to doing it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Smriti, I want to know that you joined the AMS in your sixth semester for foundation course,
Yes, sir.
and then you did a test and discussion course in
Yes,
internship.
sir.
How was your experience?
Sir, in third year, we had two courses of third year and final year subjects. So that helped. Third year as a relatively light subject, as we see for the prof. So we get lot of time to read about the final year subjects, and we have more final year subjects compared to third year subjects. So we get the exposure of theory itself in the third year through the dams. So we can read textbook side by side of the final year. It helps in the prof also, and also in the future years, so that we have a lot of time in the third year, so that gets utilized in itself in the third year without wasting it.
Yeah. And I think what she's told us is very important, that when you are attending classes in the third year itself, you have time. Now I want to give a background to the listeners, that many years back we had a single common final prof. We had all subjects happening together, and then in around 2005 or 6, the MCA announced that they will divide the final year into two parts. In the two parts, one of the part had of the NTPSM, the other part has everything else in it. So when I saw this, I thought that this division is unequal, and I told a lot of students at that time that probably the right time should be now, sixth semester, to study, because this is the time where you have the maximum time with you. And at that time, around 25-30 students joined us for a first foundation course. This was India's first foundation course, and now I think every state, every city, people are joining in the sixth semester. Similarly, I see a change now, that with the next coming, the next would happen in the end of final year. So I think that if somebody is listening to us today and he wants to understand the timing, what the timing that they had in their sixth semester, for those candidates it will be second prof. So second prof will become the buzzword. 10 years later everybody will know about it, but you have to know it right now. The second year is the buzzword. You have to start thinking of next in the second year, is what my advice is. And Smriti, I want to know from you, what was your approach in the classroom?
So my approach was not just copying the notes from the blackboard what they are writing. Just listen to it, understand it, and write into the notes what you understand. And making your own notes is the most helpful thing, because it's your own writing, it's your own words, so you are comfortable with it reading over and over.
Do you think that in the dams classes you could make notes and those notes could form the foundation in the later on when you were giving the exam?
Yes, sir. All of the notes which I read was by my own made notes, and in even in not in the entrance but also in the prof exams, there are so many vast subjects that you end up reading those notes and before one day of exam. So we cannot keep reading textbooks every time. We cannot revise from that. But notes are concise form, and it's of your own writing, so you can read it very fast, and also you can add up to the things from the books if you want to, and it gives a very concise format for everything.
No, what she's rightly pointed out is that when we say notes, the notes means what you make in the class, understanding it, and you write it with your own hand. So what happens is sometimes you people get this idea, and I think we need to correct them right now. That sometimes you will think that if you copy Smriti's notebook, or you take a photocopy of her notebook, you will replicate her rank, but in real life it is not going to happen, because what she has written is for her own self, and those words they talk to her directly. And that is one of the founding principles of dams, that we tell all our students to write in the class, because we know that your writing will talk to you directly, and that is the key. So please do not be fooled by a shortcut that you can photocopy it or you can buy it somehow. You cannot buy success, you have to grind it through, and we'll explore it further. How many hours in a day were you studying, Smriti?
So when in the foundation years, like when we used to get free at 4 o'clock in the evening, so after that 3 to 4 hours every day studying was good enough. And Saturday Sunday we used to invest 12 hours in the classes.
Yeah.
And in the internship, whenever you get time, 3 to 4 hours, 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours the maximum time. But yeah, daily studying was the routine.
So if I say that you were not the like that intense effort types, you were more of a consistent type.
Yes, sir. Like daily reading was more comfortable for me rather than investing 40 hours in the week, rather than doing daily 2 hours with the routine activity.
Yeah. So would you advise the same to the future aspirants? And I think it's a good strategy that she started fairly early, and then she had a good habit. And I have always seen successful people like her have good habits. She had a good habit of consistency. She was doing 4 hours, 3 hours a day. And in internship, when the time wanted, she actually did 6 hours, 7 hours also. But she never did up to 12 hours, probably because the internship was very heavy.
Yes, sir.
And so when you have a busy internship, but if you are consistent, you are able to still win.
Yes, sir. Actually, during internship, it's like you don't get a full 12 hours time, or you are very tired after doing work that you sit for 12 hours and read. So whatever time you manage, 2 hours, 3 hours, even for 1 hour if you manage, or even you are not able to read from the notes, then see videos, do tests, that subconsciously you are reading something and something is getting into your head. So it is like a read for daily, open the book, stay in touch with the words and books daily, but it's not required that daily you need to see 12 hours.
Consistency is the key, meeting the targets is the key, quality is the key, not the quantity of time that you put in.
Yes,
That
sir.
has been the mantra that Smriti has followed, and that has helped her to pursue dermatology in PGI Chandigarh. She's already doing it. Now she can opt for dermatology in any top institute at her rank, but she's already in PGI Chandigarh. So I believe that is the comfort you get because of your hard work. Because of your hard work, you have choices, and for these choices, this is the reason why you work hard, so that the choices are not imposed on you. You make them.
Yes,
Now
sir.
she's making a choice that I'll stick to PGI Chandigarh, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I hope you see that to be in this position is the reason why you're studying. In this position where she can make the decision that I want this, I don't want this. You don't want to be given a decision because of a rank that now I have to pursue only this. So for this consistency, starting early, reading good quality books, everything adds. Okay. And Smriti, I also want to know, did you utilize the resources on e-medicos like previous paper discussions, and what are your comments on those? AIMS capsule.
Sir, since I was not all, I could not invest all the time reading books and all. So that AIMS capsule and these are videos, so we can, whenever tired, we can see the videos and listen to them. And these used to help revise important topics. And these videos had previous year's important topics, not only question previous year papers. Videos had like questions, then related topic point also to be seen in that, because papers don't repeat the questions itself, they repeat the topics.
Yeah.
So if there is a question of any iron deficiency anemia, so we need to know about anemia all around. So that video used to cover that. Not only we used to focus on that question. So it was easier to revise that concepts and topics from the videos than just practicing MCQs from the any app.
Definitely. And Smriti, I also want to know, did you also attend the DVD session?
Yes, sir, that 3-day course DVD, that was very nice, and it helped me revising all the subjects all together. And even before the exams, if you don't have time to revise or touch the whole subjects individually from the notes, then you can see the videos of 1 hour from the e-medicos, and you can get into the touch of the all the subjects, and you won't feel nervous in the exam that you didn't see that subject one day before the exam.
And did you also give the CBT exams?
4 of the CBTs I had given in the year, and it helped me in making my mind cool in the final exams, that I have already given so many computer-based exams. So this is nothing new, just practicing like a CBT which you have already given.
Yeah. And would you recommend that all future aspirants should give all the CBTs that we conduct, not just the last one? Because I feel that some children, they only want to give the exam when they are fully prepared. While actually my belief is that you have to start giving the exam in the beginning itself, so that you get used to the exam also on the side by side. What is your take? And you selected giving 4 CBTs, all 4 you had given.
Sir, my reason of giving all the 4 CBTs are like, even after the NEET exam, I cannot say that I am fully prepared for the exam. One can never be prepared for the exam fully. So since starting, if you are into the habit of, just like ingraining into the habit of giving the exam, so 4 CBTs are like you are getting options so much to get explore to exams on the computer. So it's easier to do that CBT exam.
And plus you will see in your own eyes, you will see a graph plotting in front of you, that this is where I am at April, this is where I am at June, this is where I am, and that graph is truly reflective, because that is in the exam environment.
Yes,
like when
sir.
you're sitting in home, some person in comfort of home might be able to do more than other, and vice versa. But when you are in the exam environment, how do you perform is the key. So I think that gives you a good reflective thing. Another thing that I advise to a lot of students is that please give a damn CBT in the final year itself. At least you will be able to draw a baseline and compare to people who are fully prepared.
Yes.
And then you are able to see, okay, the people who are fully prepared, out of them, this is what I'm already getting. If I can, hit it harder, and that, this entire year, the entire tempo of the study will change. So giving the CBT is a must-do thing. And we have with us Dr. Smriti. She utilized all 4 CBTs, and she says that you will never be fully prepared. You have to start giving tests before that. And so I think it is a very good strategy that she applied, and I think it is a strategy that you can copy, and you can, actually you can be in her seat in the future and give this interview and pursue PG in an institute like PGI Chandigarh, which is one of the topmost institutes in the country. So especially for dermatology, I think the department is very good.
Yes, sir.
And Smriti, I also want to know from you your comments on this year's NEET PG exam. How was the paper? How was it different from what you must have heard about NEET? And how did the paper feel like?
Sir, initially it was very made it was like कि NEET is to be a factual paper and AIMS and PGI is to be like conceptual paper. But this year there was no difference between all the 4 papers, even JIPMER, and all the papers were based on an integrated pattern. What the clinical case we are seeing, what we are seeing in the OPDs, in the wards, in what we are learning in the MBBS time. It is not like we are just mugging up the facts that this incidence is most common, this is most severe or anything. That question, every question had a 2 to 3 subject questions integrated into one question.
Yeah.
Like in the end of the paper, after giving the paper, I could not make out which subject had more questions or which subject had less question. It was like you cannot differentiate between which subject was particularly asked or targeted in this paper.
And I think that is the truth today. And I think this paper gives the future aspirants a window to understand how next will feel like. This is the first time where the NEET is at the borders between the subjects in the NEET PG exam were all blurred. You do not know if it is anatomy. Even in the part A, the anatomy was feeling like a clinical anatomy question.
Yes, sir.
And so you have to be prepared for it. So I think the future aspirants can understand now that it is the key to preparation is now clear understanding of the concepts, not rote learning. And the value that you medical graduates sometimes we put onto the ke aakhri din pe what am I studying in the last 2 days is actually less. It is what you do in the entire 5 years, how you go about things, and those things are in your subconscious. And I appreciate her efforts that she was always consistent, and that consistency paid her back. She was able to do well, and she's able to do well in this NEET exam as well. I want to know from you, Smriti, how many questions did you attempt in this NEET exam?
Sir, 296 question I had attempted.
Great. And you,
Little aggressive marking in this NEET paper than other institute papers.
yeah.
It was like it has a less negative marking compared to other papers. It is +4 -1. So it's like even you mark 10 question and 3 get correct, then it's like +5 for you, not 0 for you.
Yeah.
So there are high chances. Even if you don't mark the questions, then how will you expect to get marks out of it if you're not even marking or attempting the questions?
Yeah. So I think her strategy during the exam was also very perfect. She was going in a more aggressive manner. She already had an idea that negative marking in the central institutes like AIMS is 1/3, or in PGI it goes even higher. It goes up to 0.9 or 1 as a negative marking, while in NEET it is -1/4, or +4 and -1. So that ratio 25% is the negative marking, to be precise. And she knew that there is a margin, although that margin as compared to AIMS will be like 8% extra margin, but she knew how to utilize it and she attacked it. That is the window that the toppers and the high achievers take whenever they find this window that okay, the negative marking is lesser than the positive, so they know that they have to take their chances.
Yes, sir.
It's just like you take more chances, you get more reward. And I think I also want to know from you, what is your final score in this exam?
So 936.
She has a score of 936 in this exam, which is an awesome score. To be able to score more than 900 in this exam is awesome. And I want to point out, and I want a comment by Smriti also here, that many people who came back from the exam said this paper was tough. But
Yes, sir.
actually, when we analyze the results, the 50th percentile of this paper is higher than the last time.
Yes, sir.
Number of candidates above 900 are more than the last time. So that means the paper was not tough. The only difference was it was not about rote learning, it was about
Conceptual.
apply your concept. So what do you feel about it?
Sir, since it was an integrated questions, if you don't read one subject like anatomy, but you know surgery, so you can think in that way and can answer that question. So it was like people were able to apply the what they have learned from other subject and integrate that and then mark the answer. If you have left any subject, then there are chances of applying achieving marking that question from other side, viewing reading that question from other subjects point of view.
Yeah.
That one question gave you opportunity to read that question from 3 subjects point of view, so people were able to, I think, mark more in this
Yeah.
paper.
And the thing is that if it is a one-liner kind of a paper or a factual paper, which is no longer the trend in India, but if it's a factual question, the answer is either I know it or I don't know it. It's an absolute thing.
You cannot think over that question.
Yes.
You know it, then you mark it. You don't know it, then you skip that question.
Yeah. While in this paper there were clues in the question,
Yes, sir.
keywords you could pick up. This is a keyword from anatomy, from surgery. You could pick it up
Yes, sir.
and get to the answer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Were you enjoying giving the paper?
Yes, sir.
So more you enjoy, I think, better the ranks also become, I think. So what I have seen in the past also is all high achievers like her, when they are giving the exam, they're actually enjoying the exam process. At that time, it is not about the rank. It is about enjoying the question, how to solve it. It is just like the same feeling that a kid gets when he's doing a puzzle. So it's not about what will he get if he solves the puzzle. The puzzle itself is intriguing and is interesting in itself.
Yes, sir.
Smriti, I want to know any particular teachers that come to your mind today?
So Deepti ma'am and Diksha ma'am
Hmm.
particularly, and Diksha ma'am always used to put that doodling and everything on the club, that integrated pictures was there, clinical scenario with the pathological correlation, that helped a lot in the paper. It was like neat paper had a lot of pathological point of view, like pathology is a subject for all the 19 subjects.
Yeah.
So that Diksha ma'am already had so many integrated topics on the club that helped me a lot in solving the NEET paper.
I think pathophysiology of the disease process is the keyword now in the Indian exam system. That means in the past you could know what is the most common cause, what is the least common cause, like this. But today you need to know how the disease is progressing, and why in a disease in a lab you get this, you clinic you get this, and the treatment is this. If you are able to see these links in between, you will top the exam. And not only in the exam, even in clinical practice you will become a better clinician, because you are able to see the links. A patient will come to you with some clues in the history, some clues in the examination, and some clues will come by the lab values, that this is the bilirubin level, this is, and you need to put them together. And putting it together is the job of a physician. Whatever the technology, machine learning, AI, whatever will come, putting it together will be human, and that is creativity. And I think this paper, and we have to give credit to the exam body here. They had created a good paper this time.
Yes.
It was not factual, and I think universally, I think most of the people have appreciated the kind of paper they have taken.
Yes,
And it was more application based, and I think this is a signal of the things to come. This is how the papers would be in future. So I want to take this opportunity to tell to future aspirants that please learn from her. It was not never about quantity of hours she's putting in. It was always about quality of hours. It was also consistency. It is not like कि एक हफ्ता पढ़े उसके बाद 2 महीने कुछ नहीं पढ़े, ऐसा नहीं. She was consistent, and she was consistent to be able to be in a position where she makes the choice, and now she made all the choices, I think.
yes.
है ना? So Smriti, final message from you to the future aspirants.
Just stick to your own standard textbooks. Just be consistent with your notes, reading it, and be making more priority to making concepts rather than mugging up the facts. Facts will come automatically to your mind once you read it many times, but make sure that you make concepts out of the sources.
With this note, Smriti, I would once again like to congratulate you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I'll not ask you what branch will you pursue, because I already know. And for the people who do not know what is the context, you can see another video by her in this channel. I think a month back,
Yes, sir.
we interviewed her. I think Deepti interviewed her with after her awesome PGI rank. She's already pursuing dermatology in PGI Chandigarh. Now she is Delhi rank 2. All India rank 45. Smriti Gupta, we are really, really proud of you. The entire DAMS team is proud of you. You have been a part of DAMS for last 3 years, and we are
Yes,
so proud of you.
Thank you
Heartiest
so much, sir.
congratulations.
Thank you so much,
Congratulations.
sir.